Hi everybody, this is Bobby with bobbystamps.blogspot.com, and I'm going to show you how I made this cute card. I actually cased this card from the holiday catalog, and I found it on page 48. It's this card right here, and I just kind of changed it up and made it my own. And I used the stamp set Totally Tress. We'll use this image, and then we'll use this image to create our tree. So we'll just lay that out. I used the Boho Chic embossing folder, and I'll show you. I embossed a piece of crushed curry. I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's embossed. The card base is Cajun Craze, and it's our standard A2 card. It's 5.5 scored at 4 1/4. And then I used the layering ovals to cut out a piece of Old Olive, and then a piece of Whisper White, and then this is 1.5 inch Old Olive that we'll do the sentiment on. And the layering ovals, the two ovals that I used were the two largest ovals in the set. So that's how you can get the same size if that's what you like. And then we're going to also use the linen thread. We'll use the Regal's enamel shapes. The buttons I'm using are no longer available, but you could use anything for your accent. I just really wanted to use this, the green ones, because it matched my Old Olive, and I think it just really made the card look so pretty. We're going to use the triple banner punch for our sentiment. And then we're going to be using some Stampin' Right markers, and the same markers that we're going to use, we'll use the same ink pad. So I'm not going to name each one of these off, but I will show you really quick the inks. And like I said, we use the same markers. So you're going to need Old Olive, Cherry Cobbler, Crushed Curry, Cajun Craze, and Tangerine Tango. Then we're going to stamp the tree in Tip Top Taupe and make the ground in So Saffron, and then you'll use Basic Black for our sentiments. And so we will just go ahead and get started, because this kind of does take a little bit to pull this all together. So we're going to grab our piece of Whisper White and So Saffron, and then we're just going to put this piece on our block. This is what we're going to use to make the ground. And then I just started at the bottom and slowly worked my way up, and I layered them when I did that. And I also flipped the image over the stamp, so that way I would get a different, I also did this where you just kind of went halfway in and then flip it, go halfway in again, just because I wanted different texture, because it is the ground. So I wanted the image to not be the same. So I liked that really well. I'm going to go ahead and flip it to the other end, and then just go back in. And can you see like the different gradient it gives? I really like that look. And then we'll just flip that over like so. Now I'm going to leave this out because I might go back in if I feel like I need more ground, because I really wanted it to appear like it was going off in the distance. So we'll grab this image for the tree, and we're going to ink it up in Tip Top Taupe. And then we just want to get it as centered as much as you can in the card. And let me see, I don't want to get my head in the camera. So I'm going to do it right about there. Okay, and I think that looks good. We'll leave it like that. And I think I don't need any more of the So Saffron. I think I'm happy with that too. We can move the ugly paper out of the way. Now what we're going to do is take the flower image, and this is where all of our markers come in. I'm just going to make sure so that way when I grab them, I have them all at the bigger tip when I pull the marker off, because you don't want the ink to dry. So we're just going to color in just random spots all the colors. Try not to put the same colors, you know, right beside each other. You want a little bit of difference going on with the colors. And I think I'm gonna do this one over here. I kind of liked to do the crushed curry and the old olive in the center, and it kind of divided up the oranges and the reds on here. So I kind of liked the way that looked. So we'll just do that, and then we'll finish off with old olive. Okay, and then we're just going to put that right over our image and get it as centered as we can. And then just hold it there for a second for the ink to soak into the paper. And then you're just going to pull it off like so. And then we're going to take the little leaves that are falling, and then we'll just, I started out with the crushed curry because I wanted to make sure that I got it in a white spot on the paper in the Whisper White and not ended up in the So Saffron. So we'll just randomly put those down. And then we'll grab crushed curry and the same thing. Just randomly put them on the paper. Whoops. And then Tangerine Tango. Put one up there and one right there. And then now I have the Cherry Cobbler. I'll ink this one up right there. And then the last one we're going to use is our Old Olive. And then we'll try to fit one there, and maybe there. I think I'm going to put one there. How pretty is that, guys? I just love how this card turned out. Okay, so that is all of our stamping except for our sentiments. And we will go ahead and get that punched out with the triple banner punch. Just want to get that lined up in the middle. Push down. Get rid of that. I did forget to mention, guys, that we also are using the Gift of Love stamp set. This is where I'm getting the thank you, and this is a Hostess stamp set. Sorry about that. So we'll just grab the thank you and grab a block, and then we'll just ink that up, and then you can center it. Put it to one end. I'm going to put it in the center because we're going to use the enamel dots here in a minute, or the enamel shapes. I just love this font, and that's why I chose to use the stamp set, because the font was just so pretty. So let's go ahead and we'll assemble the card. I'm going to use Fast Fuse to adhere the embossed piece, because it's been embossed, so we want it to stick really well. Then I'm going to grab my linen thread, and what I'm going to do is we'll just put that right there into the Fast Fuse, and then wrap it around a couple of times. You don't want to pull it too tight, but at the same time you don't want it too loose either. So that's going to be enough. So I'm just going to cut it so I can get the cardboard piece out of our way. And then I'm just going to fiddle with it until I get it right where I want it on the card. Now I'm going to have to move it up because we have to make sure that we have, let me move it up just a little bit. Yeah, that's going to be much better. We have to make sure that we're leaving room for our banner at the bottom. So let's, and then you can widen those out a little bit if you need to, so they're separated a little bit more. And the fast fuse really helps you hold it. Yep, that's going to be perfect. So we'll go ahead and put this piece down on our piece of Cajun Craze, and then grab one of our buttons. And then I left my linen thread on the cardboard while I did this piece part because I just wanted to make sure that I had enough. But I literally just went ahead and popped the linen thread through all the holes just so it would look prettier and more finished. Okay, maybe I'm going to get that one to go in. Okay, there we go. So we'll just pull that through there like that, and then I'm going to tie it off in a knot, like so. And clip that off. Clip that piece off. Okay. There we go. And then you just keep pulling it through, pull your ends, and you just keep messing with it until you get it the size that you want. And then, you know, we'll cut the end pieces off here in just a minute. Let me see. I think this one needs to be pulled just a bit more, and then we'll cut our two end pieces off. Let's grab a glue dot, and we'll just stick the glue dot on right there, and then we'll stick our bow right on there. And I'm just going to cut this off just a little bit more because it was just a tad bit too long, I think. And then we will grab another glue dot for our button, and you can use two if you want to. You could even use a dimensional, but I'm fine with using one glue dot. I think it's going to hold it on there. Now we'll grab the dimensionals and put our banner on. I'm going to use 3. So this was one of the cards that I used for my thank you cards for my customers that placed an online order with me for the month of September. So somebody's going to be getting this, some people. It's not the only one I used. I try to do different ones, mix it up a little bit. I just love fall. It's my favorite time of year. I love the leaves changing colors and sweater weather. I like that you have to put a light jacket on when you go outside. I'm from Indiana, so we get a little bit of all the seasons, and sometimes we don't know what season it is. You can't tell because of the weather outside. It's crazy weather. But here lately this week, it's that kind of weather where it's rainy and it's a little bit chilly. It's been in the low 60s or upper 60s, and you know that I think every year, you know, that rain has to come and the wind has to come to get those leaves off the trees. And then we'll just put this right there in the center. And then we'll grab the enamel shapes. I put mine in a sandwich bag after I open them, just so that way I can keep the back cover and know which one's which and keep up with them really well. And you can use any of these colors, would be pretty. The Old Olive, well, you wouldn't want to use the Old Olive on Old Olive, but the Cajun Craze, the Cherry Cobbler. I think I'm going to use the Crushed Curry on this one. On the other one, I think I used Cajun Craze or Cherry Cobbler one. So let's move those out of the way. And I'm just going to grab one of the smaller and we'll place it right there. And then another one of the smaller ones and put it right there. And that's it, guys. Cute, simple card. This is the one I just made. And this is the one I previously made. I first stamped it in early espresso and I didn't like it. It was too dark. I like the Tip Top Taupe being a little bit lighter. But there you go. And if you want to get all of the supply list and things like that, you can visit my blog. It's bobbystamps.blogspot.com. Thanks, guys.